What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat. We're at the Nerd Castle today playing the next episode of our Banner Saga playthrough, and we had just arrived at like Frostveller, or some Viking-y sounding name like that. We had done a little bit of our hero check-in, so if we go back we can take a look at our characters and you'll see that we've done some upgrading, so people are moving up through the ranks slowly but surely. Ivor's no longer injured, which is really good. You'll recall that Egil was our tank along with Ivor. Both of these guys do a reasonably good job at soaking damage. And then Rook, let's put him in the back because I wanted to do that at the end of the last episode, and then we'll have maybe them right there. That sounds fantastic. That's looking a little bit better for where I wanted things to be. In fact, I may shift Trigagavi up to here because I've got an idea for a combo between their abilities. What I've been thinking about is Ivor has a huge knockback, and so does he, so I was thinking it might be kind of interesting to cross the T with the enemy, so he would knock back an enemy with his bleed effect in front of Ivor. Ivor would then knock them back like 5 squares, and then they would have to walk back, and they take damage for every square that they traverse after being bled. Kind of an interesting idea that struck me the other evening while I was twiddling the night away. Don't ask me what twiddling means, it's just, it is what it is. Let's be on our way because they had wanted us to leave town. We had done all of our conversational topics, and it appears as though there's very little left here in Frostveller to occupy ourselves with. So we're back on the road again. You're only just outside the village when 2 men in red approach. My name is Hogun, says one, gesturing to the other. My brother is Mogun. Many from the village wish to join you to Frostveller. A third man, exuding rage, charges up to the group. You shut your mouth, Hogun, he screams. What's going on? These bastards don't speak for us. They've been trying to divide the village since you got here. True, you can keep whoever wants to stay and die. The rest of us will go with the reasonable people of Skogar. I'll have you both gutted before I let half the village desert. Behind the angry villager, a mob of armed thugs have appeared, all furrowed brows and nervous stares. You both know what will happen to the rest of us if the fields are abandoned. Nobody leaves. You both... Oh, never mind. I thought it gave me a new dialogue option right there. Well, we can say that there's not going to be anything to defend when the dredge arrive, or we can let the people decide on their own. I kind of want to be a neutral party in all this because we've already got ourselves wrapped up. Actually, let's see what happens if we say nothing. Well, we've got to be a leader. Never mind. There won't be anything left to tend once the dredge arrive. Dredge my ass. I don't know what the scam is this time, Hogun, but you've got 2 choices. Get back to work or I'm finally putting you in the ground. Mogun, what do you say? Thought it was unfair that he only asked me. Mogun draws his axe slowly, followed by Hogun. Despite their confidence, the brothers are significantly outnumbered. I think I make a poor farmer. Well... God. I guess I'm gonna go with the twins because they both look like badasses. They look like the lead singer, like... They look like they might be the lead singer for one of those crazy Norse, like, heavy metal Viking bands, and I can go for that. Meanwhile, he looks sort of like Toby from The Office, so whatever. Nobody likes Toby anyways. Side with the brothers. Ivor steps forward, the thugs hesitate. As you pull your axe, you notice that Alette is nowhere to be seen. Okay, so apparently that's who stepped out. Hogun and Mogun can jump in. And what are their abilities? Can I just drag and drop them in? Okay, let's go with Hogun first. You can't tell the difference between the two. God. Alright, well, let's try out... I'm going to drop Trigvi for a minute, and we're going to try out Hogun and Mogun just to see what they're good at. I have no idea what their skill sets are going to be, but hopefully they complement one another since they appear to be twins. Twins. Let's have a look at our setup here. So it appears as though we are actually outnumbered, but these guys are weaklings. I'm not super concerned about anything they're going to bring against us. I'm going to shift my archers forward so that they don't have to cross as much ground. What can he move to? Maybe step him back one more. And then what we want to do is I'm going to set up a front on this side. Essentially like so. I think we should probably center up somehow. And it looks like the distribution... Oh, they've got an archer as well. Alright, all things to think about. I don't know if these guys... They have massive shields just like Gil does. So I'm thinking we may be in a little bit of trouble there if they can pop the same type of abilities that he has. What does Hogun do? Bloody Flail. 4 attacks at 1 strength or armor each. Last hit adds +1 for each adjacent ally. So you want them to fight in a shield wall. What does he do? Oh, he does the same thing. Okay, so you definitely want them up in a shield wall. I think, though, it might be nice. So we want to put them sort of like that. I'm gonna have them swap. Hey, swap. I demand that you swap. There we go. That's how I want it to look. Because if you look, they've both got a maximum amount of people that they can have adjacent, at least for the battlefield setup that we've started with. We could try to do like a grid system from Blood Bowl, but I don't know how that's gonna work out. Let's get going with this battle. We get the first move, and I think the best plan for our first move is gonna be to have Gil move on over to here, and he's gonna seize the initiative. Since he's got so much of his willpower left, we're gonna put him in Stonewall and see if he'll soak a little bit of damage. He does out-armor like everybody here, so it should turn out okay. Yep, there it is right there. He managed to resist it. Next up, we've got ourselves Ivor, and what was his ability one more time? He has Battering Ram, so he can knock an enemy back 4 tiles, and then he also has Return the Favor. That's right, where he triggers armor damage. We're gonna step him forward by 1, so that people remain adjacent with him. We have nobody to attack, so I'm not sure why I clicked that. Actually, what does he do? Oh, never mind, I just made a mistake. A mistake. Whatever, you know, if it weren't for mistakes, nothing interesting would ever happen around here. It's all good. She can take a shot at somebody, it looks like, right? Can you? Oh, she can't. I think then, in that case, I'm gonna have her step over. And the best place that I'd like to have her is gonna be assisting Gil, I guess. She's already outstrengthed this individual's armor, so she'll be able to deal a little bit of damage. That gent's gonna step forward. And since nobody's adjacent to him, unfortunately, let's go ahead and get started dealing damage to him with our other archer. So now that all of our ranged units have gotten done pelting the enemy, although these are Vikings, so we have to lend a little bit more specificity here. Vikings often travel pelted, you know, pelts around the shoulders, all that kind of animal furry stuff. In this case, they're being pelted with both, so we have to be a little bit more specific, not too specific though. What's his strength looking like? 8? He should be able to overpower this turd. He can only deal 1 damage. Ah, yes. 8 minus 7. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and have him start with an armor class lowering there then. Ah, we have a couple breakaways here. I'm gonna have him move over to here. And let's go with his flail. I'd like to see what it does. Very cool. I can dig that. That's something that I can definitely get behind. 2 damage to armor and 2 damage to strength is no slouch. On this side, I think we definitely need to form up at this point. So I'm going to move Gil over to here. And we're going to have him strike out at this enemy. Well, maybe not. Maybe I should just have him stonewall one more time, although I can't guarantee that anybody's going to take a swing at him. That's what I'm always worried about, is that I'm going to deploy him, I'm not going to use an attack, and then they're just going to bypass it completely. Let's get going with some strength damage then. So 3 strength damage done. That's what I had thought might happen. They're just going to go all the way around. They're going to reduce his strength a tad. And what I would prefer to do now is let's keep him in alignment right here. And in this situation, how much does that do? It knocks them up for, okay. So that's only gonna deal, do they pass, is that gonna injure like my own guys if I try and knock them through, or is it just gonna injure him? I think it's probably not gonna do what I want it to, so let's take a swing at him. We'll add 1 so that we one-shot him. And so down he goes, and he's earned himself a promotion, which is gonna be nice for the future, because it's always a good thing to have yourself a few extra HP, strength, armor, whatever it is that you're gonna be needing. With these individuals, what was her ability? She has, oh yeah, the arrow trap. That's right. Who do I want to take a shot at here? Well, she's got the lowest armor, so I think maybe taking a swing at her is going to be a good plan. So Oddleif gets an arrow away to damage other Oddleif. They look very similar, they're just kind of color swapped in that old JRPG fashion. I'm going to move... Let's lower his armor. And we'll try to do something interesting with this guy, although his strength is pretty low, so I don't know how it's going to go down. We'll see how the whole thing plays out. Ivor's taking a little bit of damage from behind, the worst type of damage to take. The damage that might require a little bit of wiping. But in any case, let's see what we can do here. He's definitely squared up with adjacent guys. And let's see if we can do his flail ability. Nice, very cool. And then the last one did 2 damage because he's squared up with Gil right here, which is exactly where we want him to be. They are reducing the armor pretty quickly on our amigo right here. I'm gonna have him do the same thing, just flail away. And there it is, he's earned himself a kill. I like these guys. They're a little bit brash, they're a little bit brazen, but they come in a bright red color, which means that they're gonna be kind of antagonists on the battlefield, I think. They're definitely gonna be like our offensive warriors. I also dig their shield pattern. Pretty cool thing to have. On this side, we can take a, maybe. We can kill her off. I'm gonna use a willpower to get him right there, and then he's gonna kill this guy. And so down he goes. Who's she gonna fire on? She used a bit of willpower, so it's gonna hurt a little bit more than we might expect. He's down to 1 HP, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on him. With Ivor here, we don't have a lot of choices. We may... Yeah, we're probably gonna lose Hogun. It's tough to make it through a battle in this game without losing a character simply because they focus fire really, really well. And it's difficult to disengage from a combat with the way the every other turn works, especially since we don't have attacks of opportunity or anything like that to force people into an engagement. I believe... I'm gonna move him to here. No, never mind. I suppose all I can do is take a swipe at this guy. I just want to reduce his strength. If that's all I can handle, it's all I can handle. We didn't get a resist right there, unfortunately, so we've lost Hogun. We're going to finish her off with a willpower, because I don't want to leave anybody standing that might be able to hit my back ranks. That's always scary to me. Over here, we are almost completely out of armor, which means this battle needs to end now. Let's start lowering the strength of some of these guys on the front line. Actually, do we have anybody? God, I never have people adjacent that I want to have adjacent. I could do him right there. Let's do that. So we can go with Mark Prey. Oh, that's right, we have to be right in front of him. Well, we can do it right there. And so there's the marked prey, and there's the 2 double hits that we get for everybody that's adjacent to the marked prey. Very cool. Next up, we need to stop this guy from doing anything useful, so let's use a willpower to get on over here. And I forget what it says this does. Does it restore a willpower? Okay, cool. So we can trade those in. Every kill that we get trades in a willpower. Very nice. Well then, we're gonna get going on this one. He doesn't have any adjacent allies, but we gotta deal some damage here. We gotta do something to that guy. Whew, and we almost lost Ivor. Close but no cigar. Well, we're probably gonna use... Yeah, we're definitely gonna lose Ivor. Is that this gent right here? Okay, so we need to handle him next then. So we'll swing on out to here. Oh, we can't kill him this turn. Very unfortunate. So I'm always ended up with wounded people. So Ivor's now down. She's not able to do anything this turn, but I will arrow trap. Oh, I don't know. Arrow trap that spot right there. He didn't do what I expected him to do. I thought he was going to come over here and fight with Rook. In this case, my best chance is going to be to mark prey on him. So down he goes. That guy's going to hit up pillage mode, which is perfectly fine. He's adjacent to somebody alongside him. So we're going to go, well, he can kill him straight out. So let's just kill him straight away. Ooh, they can double up. Extra murder. And so extra murder is committed. A bloody battle. I wasn't happy with the result on that one. It's difficult to predict in this game how things are going to go down simply because the enemy changes targets pretty rapidly. The brothers thank you with wide grins. Soon many of the villagers have joined your caravan. You scan around anxiously for Alette, who had gone missing when the fighting began. Eventually you find her watching from afar. Hogun returns at that moment, introducing you to his son and wife, and you soon set out again. 165 people and 22 fighters. Well, we got a little bit beefier. We also got some renown, which we can trade for supplies. And we should be a little bit better off for the future. I mean, I feel like we may have committed a little bit of interclan slaughter right there for no reason, but it is what it is. What's done is done. Alette marches quietly alongside the caravan, a little distant since leaving the village. When you stop for a rest, Oddleif approaches you both. Alette, I have something for you. Oddleif has gathered up the long banner from the caravan and smiles warmly as she passes it to Alette. What's this about? I was hoping you'd sew up the banner with everything that's happened since we left Skoger. Come find me another time, Rook, and we'll talk. Before you can comment, she departs. Dad, are you chieftain now? Sure looks that way. Oh, well then that means you're both quiet for a moment while Alette unfurls the banner. Oddleif has been teaching me how to sew. She speaks pretty highly of you. Can we read the part about Mom? You nod. On the banner has been sewn the story of the families who have lived in Skogir throughout the years, just as is done on every banner in every town. I wish she were here, but I'm kind of glad that she isn't. The section of banner about your family is short, but Alette has been sewing in colorful designs. Why do you say that? Well, so she doesn't have to deal with all of this. Dredge, leaving home, and... Why did you have to kill those men in the village? I mean, if it's okay to ask. Well, we had to make a hard choice. Because the Dredge are terrifying. Every time we have to fight them, I just want to run, but I don't want to kill a person. Please? Are you mad at me? No, it's alright. I guess I would do it if I really had to, but do we have to? I know what you mean. Yeah, I know, Dad. I think you're doing a good job. She hugs you. You spend the rest of your time together sewing new verses into the banner. For better or worse, the story of Skogir is your burden now. Wait, where are we now? Let me take a look at... Normally there's a map hut. In the last town there was a little hut that we could jump into to take a look at our map and make sure that we were on the proper path. I think this is just a camp that we've pitched out in the middle of nowhere. I suppose. There's probably like one hermit sitting on the hill like, this is my home, it's not nowhere, dick. Let's go to the hero tent. We gotta handle some promotions. We've got Ivor, who's injured, but he can take a promotion, which is really, really nice. So let's promote him away. With Ivor, I think our best plan is more than likely gonna be along the lines of giving him some armor, so that he can really soak just a little bit better than he is right now. I feel completely and totally at the moment like he almost makes it through every battle as a tank, but he's always one or two turns short every single time. And so I think the best way to do that is going to be to increase his armor and make sure that the enemy just has to keep working on that over time. I'm going to confirm that change. He's got 2 days. Hogan's only got 1 day left. And has anybody else dinged up? Let's have a look here. People are dinged up, but I mean dinged up as in leveled up, as we used to call it back in the EQ days. Oh, one has a scar and one doesn't. I love the character design, and while these guys are both kind of rudimentary Vikings and they look the same except for that scar, I like that. I don't know what it is about this game, but aesthetically this game is just one of those things that it really jumps out at you and it makes you feel happy to play it. The whole thing is really just a pleasure to look at, a pleasure to play. The UI is gorgeous, it's stark, they use a lot of solid colors and a lot of bold lines. The artist who did this has a strong career ahead of him. I would predict that right now. I'm just endlessly, infinitely impressed by this game. Let's promote. Ah, he can improve an ability too, and so it's going to cost 10 renown. There's nothing to buy at the moment, so I'm just going to go for it. I would rather have somebody higher ranked than worry about anything else. Rank 2. Ah, he gets... Allies looks like it's been spelled improperly right there. Maybe they ran out of line, whatever particular string that was. I love that knife animation. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous and fluid. I'm sorry, but every time I sit here, there's just a little bit of ballyhoo that I have to let out. I just have to absolutely extol the virtues of this game. So it looks like he does like 2 armor break now before he triggers the effect. It doesn't do anything other than that. Does he do anything with light step? Okay. Well, never mind then. We've got 2 points available. And since he's in the back line, it raises an interesting point that we may find use in increasing his armor breaking skill, because that's usually how he starts out most fights. So I think if I take that up to 3 and he can deal 3 damage to armor with his bow, that may help us out a lot in the future when going up against bosses. Alternatively, it might be nice to have a bit more armor on him, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. It also might be nice, and it may be more useful to increase his linkage ability so that he can use more willpower in a battle. That's another thing that it's tentative. For example, if we put 2 points in right here, we can use that on a strength attack or on an armor attack and get the exact same result as putting 2 points in here. So basically, these 2 points only have a singular use, whereas these 2 points have a multi-purpose use, which makes me think we should do a little bit of Swiss Army knifing right here and go for that instead. However, his willpower points are low, so I think I'm going to wait a little bit. We're going to go with the armor break for now. I don't know if that's a wise decision. I don't know a whole lot about this game and what's going to be good off in the future, so you'll forgive me if I make choices that seem sort of dunce-worthy to you. Anybody else? So Gil's not ready to go. And it appears as though Mogun is ready to go. He is a thrasher. Kind of an interesting title right there. He probably listens to a lot of Megadeth. You know, you never know. Megadeth's pretty badass. They're one of my favorite bands. Dave Mustaine being a dick aside, fantastic band. Just kind of one of those guys that's hard to get along with, I guess, from everything that I've read and heard anyways. Over here, they have the ability to have 2 linkages right there. It appears as though he's an offensive unit. Let me check out his bloody flail right now. He gets 5 strikes if we upgrade that to rank 2, and he gets 6 if we put it up to rank 3. I'm going straight up to... Oh, we can't. Hold on. 2 points available. Oh, okay, so that increases as you level up. I was about to just pump points into that and be like, go for it right now, but it goes up automatically. I should have thought about that. That would be a little bit overpowered. I think he's going to be using a ton of energy and like a ton of damage all the time, so I might consider putting the points into willpower, strangely enough. I think let's evenly distribute it between willpower and strength, because strength is going to be important for an offensive unit as well. So there it is. I do like the way that you conserve the kills when you go up to the next rank. So when we reach 5, it'll be 5 out of 10. When we reach 10, it'll be like 10 out of 20. And it appears as though it does like a doubling motion every single time we do anything. Now that we've hit rank 3 on somebody, we can equip a new piece of equipment as well, the horse scores. Shoes made from the hoofs, they do +1 movement, and they give you a chance to dodge strength attacks. Unfortunately, that's not going to be best used on Rook. That's going to be something we want to throw on Ivor, or we want to throw on Gil. Let's step on back. That's all been taken care of. Let's go handle a conversational option. I think that's going to be about all the time we have for this episode. How are you doing, Odd? Oh, I'm alright. Not at first. Sometimes when a loved one dies, people say it doesn't sink in for a while. It sunk in for me right away. People tell me I'm a strong woman. It's funny, my father named me Oddleif before I was even born. He wanted a boy so badly. Strong woman, what does that even mean? Well, it means people look up to you, I guess. Don't take this the wrong way, but I don't want to be known for handling my feelings. If I feel nothing about my husband dying, people think I'm strong. If I cry because my insides feel like they're on fire, I'm weak. Why does that feel so backwards? I'm sorry, Rook. It's been hard. You're not sure what to say. In the many years you've known the chieftain's wife, this is probably the most you've ever talked. You asked me to come find you? Yeah, it's about the banner. I thought it was about time. He asked me to give it to you, you know, if something happened. Why me? He always depended on you, Rook. It should be mine. I could carry it, but I thought about why he named you. I get it. They won't follow a woman. Families would leave, and our banner would be divided. Well, I think they'd follow you. Come on, Rook. This isn't the time for pretend. It's not just about our small town. What happens the first time we need something from another clan? How will that go? And the first time someone thinks they can take advantage of us? I think this is what has to happen. Well, I'll do my best. I think so too. Listen, I know I dragged this out. The truth is my husband and I could never have a child. I don't want our banner to end here. It'll be safe with you and Alette. I know you're going to take care of her. She puts her hand on your shoulder as she heads back to the camp. +5 renown because we've gained ourselves a banner. That means we have someone to... God, bad joke incoming. We have someone to administrate our forums. They can ban gratuitously. I'm not going to do training right now. I think what I'll do is I'm going to step away. We're going to end the episode here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in looking at Stoic Studios, The Banner Saga, which is a really cool strategy title, which released a few days ago. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm having a fantastic time with it, and I can't wait to see where the game's going to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and take care out there, everybody.